We have excitement with anticipation here at Park University Gilbert in Gilbert, Arizona. Exciting day for the volleyball program as the ladies once again on their way to the NAIA playoffs, the postseason. Well earned for this team that went to the conference tournament and had to do the unthinkable, and they did exactly what they set out to do, and that was win the conference tournament. I'm here with the ladies right in front of us. I'm here with head coach Sean Close. And Coach, an exciting day for the team as we await the NAIA announcements, and right now it's excitement with anticipation as this team gets ready for the season that truly matters.
Yeah, we're extremely excited, and I know that we're extremely proud of each other and for all the things that we kind of were able to accomplish this season, and really it's just a tribute to these girls and how hard they worked and what they were able to accomplish. As a coach, it's really just fun to just sit and watch these girls perform at such a high level.
Yeah, they performed at such a high level, and it starts when we talk about the names. So many players all factored into making this happen. Mid-October, Coach, this team goes on a 7-game winning streak. Thoughts on how important those matches, losing those, maybe a little bit of a wake-up call to redirect the focus of this team heading into the conference tournament?
You and I talked before. I don't know if there was necessarily a way to really win that conference championship, and we knew that Benedictine after we had lost to Embry, that they had pretty much just due to our rivalry that kind of gave the girls a little bit of extra fire, if you will. And so it's really good for an opportunity for us to be able to play them and in that conference tournament. And the girls just played absolutely phenomenal, and they executed the game plan from start to finish. And it was talking with a lot of the coaches, both Ben Yu and a lot of the coaches around it. It was just a great volleyball match from top to bottom from these young women.
Yeah, no question that the team played at such a high level. And when you talk about the conference tournament, Coach, you go there, you take care of business, you take care of Embry Riddle, you take care of Benedictine, and then you get RV Westcliff, and then you're down in the fourth set. You're down 18-14. You're down 20-17. Your conference player of the year is on the sidelines with an injury. Talk about the way this team galvanized itself, and all of a sudden, did what it needed to do, because here they are, loud and proud, smiling across the board, early 8:45 in the morning. They're kind of quiet over here, as if they haven't had the dose of caffeine, but I'm going to bring the energy for them, because here they are, they're punching their ticket, they're playing on.
I don't know that the coffee's kicked in yet. If you look over there, lots of them have it in some way, shape, or form. In that game against Westcliff, and we talked about it after the match, momentum is a funny thing, especially in this game. And the fact that we lost, Hattie got her on the very first point of that match, and she kind of, I don't know if it was necessarily like a bent back thumb or whatever it was, but we kind of got her taken care of. And then same thing happened with Amanda with her roll ankle or high ankle sprain. We haven't kind of got that checked out to that point yet, but it's interesting in this game in terms of momentum, where something happens, something changes, and almost like a light bulb goes off. And that's exactly what happened with these girls is they just came together, and they did not let a single point fall for the next 35, 40 points. We went back, and my assistant coach and I went back and looked, and I don't remember the stat off the top of my head, but of the next 42 points that were scored, we scored 35 of them. And so it's just a matter of these girls just really said, hey, we're not going to go down without a huge fight. And, we've talked about this multiple times throughout this year of just, hey, never stop throwing punches, never stop fighting, never ever stop pushing each other. Come together and understand that your guys' effort, energy, everything that goes into this game is absolutely tangible, and it affects every little bit and part of this game, and they did a tremendous job of that, specifically in that fourth and fifth set, which is exactly what they showed that they could do against Embry and as well as Benue.
Oh yeah, that was simply a fantastic effort all the way around. It led to a coronation, this team punching its ticket to the next round. So Coach, I want to know, did you give the team kind of a 24-hour, enjoy the moment, celebrate it, but look, refocus because there's more work in here?
Yes and no. So yesterday, my phone was absolutely blowing up with all of the Instagram tags. These girls are trying to educate me on Instagram. I'm not very good at it, to be honest. And so, they keep tagging me, and so, reading these posts and reading these Facebook things, and honestly, it's just so much fun to see all of these amazing young women and their support groups. They post something on Facebook or Instagram, and they get 25, 30 messages, likes on them instantly. And it's so much fun just to watch it. And that's for every single one of them. And yes, we have some huge players this year, but I mean, every single one of these players has put in a ton of work, a ton of effort from top to bottom. Even those role players have put in, done a tremendous job stepping in. I mean, shout out to Gabby came and stepped in for Amanda when Amanda got hurt and did a great job. And it's like if you don't have those players who step in and do those things, then we may not get the outcome that we necessarily wanted.
No question. And when you talk about the team coach, and social media is such a big factor in our modern day world now, who are some of the Instagram stars of this team that they're rock stars that are constantly posting and constantly getting their names out there?
I have no idea, to be honest. I don't even know that I can guess. What do you guys think? Patty? That was going to be my first guess. It was probably Patty. Anybody else? No? I mean, Jasmine does run our Instagram, so I mean, it could be her as well. But I think it's just, it was awesome. Like, we did kind of give them 24 hours. I know that some of them kind of just slept in. We all didn't really sleep in, but they probably went and took a nap because we had a really early flight yesterday morning to kind of get back home. And then obviously we're here really early this morning. I'm sure that when they got home, y'all kind of took a couple-hour nap and just relaxed for a little bit, but I'm sure that if their phones were blowing up as much as mine was, they really didn't get that much of a chance to rest.
So, Coach, here we are, and we're moments away from hearing the selections and actually the seedings and so forth. What's the mindset right now? It's anticipation, and then once you hear exactly where you're going, what's the thought process afterwards?
I think that for us, we're just excited. I don't know that we're necessarily worried or concerned, and we just get an opportunity to keep playing. And so many teams right now, their season's over, and that's not necessarily the same for us. And I think we're just excited to continue to keep playing this game. And we're a dangerous team. I mean, we're now number 4 in the country in kills per set, and we've just been slowly, steadily climbing that ladder. And we at one point this year we were also 10th in errors, and that luckily has kind of gone away, which I think is kind of attributed to this rise of successes with this team. But like we talked about before, we have just had a kind of a culture change that kind of happened with taking over the team and empowering these girls to be as great as we knew that they could be.
Oh yeah, no question. This team is fantastic from top to bottom. And Coach, when you talk about as you head toward this new season, what's the confidence level of this team like right now? Finishing, winning 10 of the last 12, winning the tournament, going into a neutral environment and getting it done, to face adversity, to be down in that 4th set and beat Westcliff and hoist the trophy, and now the new season and all these proud faces and all the energy and anticipation ready to get after it. What's the confidence level as you get ready for the next game?
I think it's absolutely huge. I think that these girls really have realized exactly what it's going to take to get to that next level. We've talked about it multiple times throughout this course of this season in terms of hey, we just have to push that much harder, push that much harder. And I think that they really realized what they can do when they are pushing that much harder in those games. And when they're just imposing their will in terms of, hey, this is what we're going to do in order to stop what we like to do. We're not going to allow you to do that. We're going to put the ball here. We're going to find emphasis on putting the ball there. We're going to be really strong in terms of what we are trying to do at the net. Whatever the focus is in that specific game. And these ladies have really just come together. And when they come together and they play 6 people, and we use this term sometimes in terms of hey, it has to be 6 people defending the 1. There's 1 hitter on that side, and we have to have 6 defenders. 2 people blocking, 1 person pulling off, and 3 people defending that ball. And whereas a lot of times in the game of volleyball, it kind of becomes 2 or 3 or 4 defending it. When they defend as 6 and really apply a ton of pressure after that defense, they've shown statistically that they're one of the top teams in the country.
And when you talk about this team, Coach, let's talk about the state of the program. You're going to the postseason for the second year in a row. You've got star freshmen, you've got star upperclassmen, you're on the recruiting trail, you're knocking on doors, you're bringing elite talent here. Talk about this program that seems to be, right now, a well-oiled machine going in the right direction.
Well, we've talked as a team, both myself and with the team, about our goal isn't just to win this. Our goal is to win that national championship. And that is the goal that's in the forefront of our minds. And I think that last year was a huge learning and growth experience for these young women and for their opportunity. We went to Corbin last year and played our absolute hearts out. And I think that opportunity and that experience will definitely translate into the game we have coming up this weekend. A lot of our girls last year had never gone and had that kind of experience before. And so this year, I think it's going to be a totally different animal in terms of there were a lot of nerves, a lot of just things that kind of went and happened last year. And I think that this year we're going to be a lot more calm, cool, and collected and just understand this is what we have to do to win. And I think that this weekend was a definite defining factor of us realizing, hey, we can beat anybody and get with time. It's just a matter of can we control our side of the net, can we control our game, and allow ourselves to put a lot of pressure on the other.
Seating as they're coming up right now, and Preston English and the Sports Information Department is navigating the YouTube channel for us, and we'll kind of wait that as that slowly comes about. So, Coach, as you get ready for this, you kind of talked about the experience of last year and how paramount that is. Can you talk a little bit about when you have the mixture of the veterans that have been through the battles and the young blood and everyone pushing each other and coming together at the right time, that this team might be clicking at the right time to go into this postseason?
100%. We've talked multiple times this year about how we had some unfortunate losses throughout the season and games that we definitely wish that we could have had back for sure. But it doesn't necessarily matter once you get into that conference tournament. Once you get into that conference tournament and you win that championship, you still get exactly what the prize was, which is that internationals. And these ladies did an amazing job at that conference tournament, and they got exactly what they wanted, which was winning that conference championship. And the experience that they had in that, I think, will definitely translate into the games coming, as well as the seniors and the veterans that we had that got those opportunities to go to Oregon last year and to play Corbin and to get that postseason experience. I think for them, regardless of where we have to go this year, I think that it will allow them to kind of explain to some of these younger underclassmen exactly how that process goes and how it feels, and to kind of prepare themselves mentally for that. I think that last year when we had literally 16 girls who had never had postseason experience going into a huge game at Corbin on their home floor, and to battle as well as we did, literally point for point all the way through the entire match, is going to translate into what we can possibly do this weekend, regardless of who we play or where we play. I view it as just an opportunity for these girls to continue to just overcome the adversity that has happened this year and overcome all of the things that they have been able to do, and to just show how good they really are.
Yeah, I'm excited about that too, Coach, because when I look at this team, I see all these faces, and I see them play, and the fact that you just went into a neutral environment, you took care of business, and you were down in a critical 4 set, and you rallied for the victory. I look at a team right now that's dangerous, but most importantly, fearless. And they're fearless. They don't look at the jersey. They don't look at the number. They don't look at the ranking. They're like, bring it on. We've got the skill. We've got the win.
100%. And don't get me wrong. Westcliff had that Fiona girl, and she was very good, very, very good. And our girls were very much attentive to her, but at the same time, they were like, hey, we're not necessarily afraid of you. We're just going to defend you as best as we possibly can.
And the selection show is now up and running on the YouTube channel. We'll guide into Jim Powers as he tries to guide us through to see where Park University Gilbert ends up. We'll kind of listen to the announcements and then gauge the reaction as we go.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Beginning with volleyball play on November 19th at 24 sites around the nation. 48 teams will enter opening round play, and the winners of those 24 sites will advance to the NAIA Women's Volleyball National Championship in Sioux City, Iowa, beginning on November 30th. The march to the NAIA national title begins now. There are two primary ways that a team can qualify for the national championship opening round field: by receiving either an automatic bid or an at-large bid into the tournament. The number of teams in each league that has participated determines the number of automatic bids in each conference. Leagues with 10 or more schools receive 2 automatic berths, while conferences with less than 10 institutions receive 1. Automatic bids are determined by each conference and can include conference regular season champions, regular season runners-up, tournament champions, or tournament runners-up depending on the league. The remaining berths not occupied by an automatic berth are determined by the NAIA Women's Volleyball Selection Committee, comprised of NAIA head coaches and administrators from around the country. And now, let's take a look at the opening round matchups. These 24 matchups are set to take place on Saturday, November 19th at campus sites throughout the country. The first matchup will feature the Mountaineers of Eastern Oregon. The Buccaneers enter as the #1 overall seed and are the winners of both the Cascade regular season and postseason tournament with an overall record of 30-2. They will face Mobile. The Rams are the Southern States Athletic Conference tournament runner-up. Our next matchup sees the Jimmies of Jamestown as they will host an opening round match. The Jimmies win champions of the GPAC regular season and tournament champions with a record of 31-2. They will take on the Bees of St. Ambrose, who joined the field with a 24-9 record and are making their 7th postseason appearance. The Warriors of Midland from the GPAC have made the field with an at-large berth after finishing the season with a 25-4 record and will host the Warriors from Indiana Tech. The Warriors joined the postseason for the 5th time with an overall record of 28-7 after a runner-up finish in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference tournament. The Bulldogs of Concordia will enter the postseason as the GPAC tournament runners-up with a record of 23-5 and will host the Falcons of Florida College. The Falcons won the CAC tournament and have an overall record of 28-9. The Warriors of Corbin will host an opening round match after earning an automatic berth as the tournament runner-up in the Cascade. They will take on the Red Hawks. The Red Hawks were the Calpac regular season champions with a record of 24-6. The Tigers of Dakota Wesleyan from the GPAC are in the postseason after earning an at-large berth with a record of 22-7 and will take on the Coyotes of Kansas Wesleyan. The Coyotes enter the tournament with a record of 28-6 after winning the KCAC tournament. The Spartans of Missouri Baptist return to the postseason after becoming the AAC tournament champions with a record of 29-3 and will host the Lions of Bryan. The Lions joined the postseason with a 25-7 record after a runner-up finish in the AAC tournament. Our next matchup features the Red Raiders of Northwestern after they earned an at-large berth with a record of 21-7. They will host the Panthers of Philander Smith in the first round. The Panthers won the Gulf Coast tournament and had an overall record of 22-9. The Lions of Sagu returned to the postseason for the 2nd straight year after winning the Sooner regular season and tournament championships. The Lions have a perfect 32-0 record and will host the Gold Nuggets of Xavier. The Gold Nuggets are the Red River tournament champions and have a record of 21-8. The V-Hawks of Viterbo are back in the postseason with a record of 28-7 after they claimed the North Star tournament crown. They will play host to the River States regular season champs, the Pioneers of Point Park. The Pioneers enter play with a record of 25-6. The Pioneers of Mid-American Nazarene makes their 7th appearance in the playoffs after claiming the Hart regular season and tournament titles as they finish the season with a 28-1 record. They will host the Toppers of Blue Mountain Christian. The Toppers earned the Southern States regular season and tournament crowns with a record of 34-2. Our next matchup features the Trojans of Taylor. The Trojans won the Crossroads regular season and tournament titles with an overall record of 30-5 and will host the Mid-South regular season champs, the Tigers of Campbellsville. The Tigers are making their 3rd postseason appearance and enter play with a 21-6 record. We're halfway through the 48-team field.
We made it, right?
So, Coach, here we are. We're halfway through the field, and it's like it's almost like punishing and tormenting that you have to like kind of sit and wait and languish until your name's called. What's the emotions like right now?
I mean, it's fun. I mean, it was fun to watch. You know, we met with Corbin last year, and so that game came up, and all the girls were like, oh, we have to go back to this. Benedictine has to go their biggest thing for
Sure, halfway through, Coach, and so we're waiting for the other half to be announced. When you kind of look at that Benedictine-Corbin matchup, you're kind of familiar with both teams, obviously Benedictine right in your league and Corbin, who you faced last year. How do you see that kind of playing out, and what kind of chances do you think Benedictine might have in that matchup heading on the road? You know, Coach, what's really exciting is for these ladies is this is a moment they can relish for a lifetime. They sit and wait and just they can always remember this day. And you see the excitement and the anticipation. And now we are getting back to the second half of the announcements.
Season with a record of 19-8 as they earned an at-large berth. They will host the Cougars of IU Kokomo. The Cougars won the River States tournament title and enter the postseason with a record of 30-6. Our next matchup features the Golden Eagles of Cornerstone as they earned an automatic berth by winning the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference regular season and tournament titles with a record of 32-3. They will host the Bobcats of St. Thomas. Bobcats took home the Sun Tournament crown and entered postseason action with a record of 19-5. The Eagles of Central Methodist from the Heart of American Conference made their 5th postseason appearance after earning an at-large berth with a 21-8 record as they will host the Cougars from St. Xavier. Chicagoland top seed enters the postseason action with a mark of 23-8. Our next match features the Knights from Marion as they were the Crossroads Tournament runner-up with a record of 23-6. The Knights will play host to the Buccaneers from Marion.
I guess we're going to Indiana, guys. Huh? That's all right.
All right.
6, 13-5.
Oh, you need to putt first now? Oh, okay.
Emmy Arena. So, Coach, the matchup is set. You're taking on Marion, Indiana, the 23-6, 13-5. You'll be playing that matchup in Indianapolis. Your thoughts of your team going there and going to a different venue, a big city, and with an opportunity to make some noise?
Oh, I've been in Indianapolis before, and I think a lot of these girls have it as well. That's where they have a lot of the qualifying tournaments for a lot of the youth. They have a lot of their tournaments there in Indianapolis. So, you know, I think that it definitely is an opportunity for us to go somewhere, which we haven't necessarily been. I don't know that we've been anywhere past, in terms of going east, past Arizona, to be totally honest with you. I think we went to Park one time, and that was years and years and years ago when we first started the program. So I think for us to go to Indiana, it's going to be a ton of fun.
Any history between these two teams, or this could be probably a first-time meeting between these two
I think this is the first time. I don't even know that we've played people who are in the same conference, to be honest with you, or going to our tournaments that we've been to and traveled to. I don't even know if there's very much crossover. So I think it'll be a great game, a great match, and we're just going to come out and try to play our best possible volleyball and hope the best team wins.
So, Coach, now you have to go back to work. Once you're out of here, once you get these ladies set and situated, going to class, it's obviously it's research and study time. Talk us through what you have to do to prepare your young ladies to get ready for this matchup.
Well, first of all, I guess I got to get them warm jackets because we're not necessarily ready for the cold of Indiana.
Yeah.
But we'll try to find them. Got to get them some flights first and foremost, and get us out there, and got to get us hotels and those kinds of things. And yeah, then it's just me and my assistant coach, and we'll get to work and try to come up with some scouting report that we could possibly have that we can try to exercise with these girls, and just give these girls the best opportunity to be successful that we possibly can.
And you kind of talk about being successful, and when you finally get there, when the lights go on and they hit the court, what's the most important message you have for your team as they get ready to play this first round matchup in a road situation, and one that they have to meet the challenge?
We've talked about this multiple times this year, and that's just to trust yourselves. Trust yourselves. Trust the confidence that we as coaching staff have in you guys. We have an immense amount of trust, respect, anything that you could possibly name in these girls. There's a lot of people who have been commenting on the fact that I don't use a lot of subs, and I don't panic very often. And it's just not something that I believe in. I have an immense amount of trust in these girls, regardless of if they're hitting 0 or if they're hitting 700. And I know that there are times, and we've seen it throughout the course of this year, where multiple people have stepped up and played tremendous volleyball, and it hasn't always been the same person over and over again. And I have an immense amount of trust in these young women, and I know how great they can play. And just to play within yourselves and just trust your ability and trust that we know exactly what you guys can do. And as much as trust as we have as coaches staff, that's as much trust that you guys have to have in yourselves. And I think that that's a huge thing that correlates not only in just volleyball, but outside of volleyball as well, and they go into life, is just to know that I can only do as much as I possibly can do. And I trust that I gave it my best effort, and that's so empowering going into life, and just knowing that I couldn't give it anything more.
Sure thing.
And that's exactly what I want for these girls to do when we go to Indiana.
Control what they can control, but also, Coach, along the way, what's the message about enjoy the moment as well?
100%. Last year, the whole message to these girls was just to enjoy the moment. We've never been to this process before. This year, it's enjoy the moment, but guess what? We got some work to do. And so our goal is, like I said, not just to win this, but our goal is to win a national title and to compete for a national title. And this year is the second year of eligibility for this program. And the fact that we are now back-to-back CalPAC champions, we are back-to-back postseason dancing, if you will. And now it's okay. Now we have to take that next step. And that next step is to potentially win this game, hopefully, and to go to Sioux Falls, Iowa, and freeze and just have get that experience as well, for sure.
Coach, and we haven't seen any tape of Marion yet, and of course you will, and you'll get a complete scouting report for your team. But along the way, what are some of the factors in that match that's going to have to take place to give your team a chance?
So, obviously it always starts with the first and second contacts. Our goal, obviously, is to try to get the ball back to the net as fast as we possibly can. And we have the athletes, we believe, and we trust that if we can get that ball back to the net, we trust their athletic ability to go and score. And that's kind of been our goal all year, is to just give these girls the opportunity to go and score. And I think that's kind of our goal and our mindset going into the same thing tomorrow or this weekend, is just to know that we have to continue to play within ourselves and continue to play within our game plan, which is just get that ball back to that net as fast as we possibly can and just apply as much pressure as we can at that net and see what happens.
And you kind of talk about getting that ball as quickly up to the front of the net as possible. And how great is it when you have a calming force in your libero and Hattie Patton, who's just such a calming force, a veteran back there. Nothing phases her. good, bad, or indifferent, there's always a smile on her face, and she just keeps the train moving forward.
100%, 100%, and it's so rewarding to have a player like that who just kind of just allows everyone else to play within themselves. It's an amazing confidence builder for these young women, knowing that we have somebody who's next to them who, I've got it. Don't worry, guys. And she's an amazing calming factor back there, and it's something that we're definitely excited to continue to have next year, and something that we're definitely excited to have going into this big tournament.
And Coach, and for some teams, they might only have one setter that can only do so much. In your case, you've got two great setters, and Annika Wallace and
Three.
Jennifer Lauer. And, you say three. So needless to say, that gives you such an advantage knowing that you have two people or three that can step on a court and set up anyone at any time. And when you have that kind of changeable parts, how much does it help in the postseason?
Oh, it helps so much. Injuries are bound to happen. They always do. And you're always hopeful that you don't necessarily catch the injury bug, but when that does happen, it's all about depth. Who do you have that can step in and take that next person up mentality? And we have a lot of that on this team, and it is absolutely awesome because we are able to compete every single day in practice. We're able to put them in different situations and scenarios to allow different people to thrive and different people to have that next person up mentality throughout the days and practices and games and things like that. And it showed in the conference tournament. And, Amanda went down, okay, next person up. And it was absolutely amazing. And we have people who are ready to go in if Amanda couldn't go in. And we have people who are ready to step up if the opportunity presents itself. And that is such a calming factor as a coach, knowing that you have so many amazing young women who can step in and just play whatever position that they're asked to do.
And Coach, you kind of talk about that in that first set. We talk about that because it was so pivotal for the point of you getting here when you were down 18-14, down 20-17. Amanda goes down, and all of a sudden, Miranda Bacon and McKenna Bussey elevated their play and inspired the rest of the team that elevated the team to the 5-set victory. And how much do you think that was a factor, Coach, maybe going forward in this match to let everyone know it's not one player, it's the entire team. If the entire team brings it, we've got a chance, not just in this round, but moving forward as well.
And that's the whole point. I mean, obviously, there are a lot of different offenses that you could run in this game. You could run just a staggered one person, they're going to swing the ball 75 times, or you can run and what we try to do, which is a more balanced offense in terms of we're going to set the ball to the outside, we're going to set the ball to the middle, we're going to set the ball to the right side, and you're never going to know where the next attack is going to come from. And because of that, the whole point and goal of that offense is to try to get as many one-on-one matchups as you possibly can. And if that is to happen, we trust our girls to win those matchups.
Well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck, and we're going to keep it right here. We're going to talk to a couple of players about the matchup. And look, congratulations, Coach.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Wish you the very best. And that is head coach Sean Close, Park University Gilbert, on their way to Indianapolis to take on Marion, a squad that was 23-6 on the year, 13-5 in conference play. So that is going to do it from right here from the campus of Park University Gilbert. Once again, the ladies, the Buccaneers, finishing strong, winning the conference tournament on their way to take on Marion in the first round of the NAIA playoffs. A first-time matchup for this team, and we wish them the very best. And of course, this team finished strong, winning 10 of its last 12 and winning the conference tournament and doing it in impressive fashion, rallying in the fourth set against Westcliff in the finals to win and move on to win it all. So we wish Coach Sean Close and the ladies the very best. We appreciate you dialing us up right here on the Buccaneers Sports Network. I am Joe Pequeno. Everyone take care, have a great Monday, and go Buccaneers.